What's going on, me family? It is Sega here, recording a little YouTube video about why I stress about Steve's pokes a lot, why you can use the pokes to open up your opponent, gain information on them to see how they play, and you can run your offense accordingly. So I'll just do one example with Jack and how to deal with someone that mashes or takes their turn back with a jab, whatever. The questions are people always ask, my opponent mashes a lot. What can I do to stop mashes? I just get overrun. I will show you right now. So, before we get started, I need my newer players to understand one thing about frames, right? Now, they kind of nerf small Tekken in Tekken 8, and they want everyone to use the big shit. One thing I don't like newer Steve's doing is starting the game off with the big shit, because you do the big shit when you have a read, you have information, you have your opponent's tendencies, and you've basically gained enough information on your opponent as a player, right? So a lot of Steves start the round off with stuff like Snake Charmer, Peekaboo or forward 2. Don't know why he's jabbing me, you bastard. They start the round off with a lot of shit like this, trying to make a hard read, shit like this, and they have no information. They're just hoping they crush something and they get the fancy duck in. This is all fun and games, but you need to have info on your opponent, and you can get that in a really short amount of time with the basic pokes. Oh, I nearly quit. Can you imagine? Fucking hell. Let me give you an example very quickly, right? So we're gonna set Jack to standing, and I'll give you a short lesson in what moves to use. So the moves I preach by that you should use with Steve is empty jab, down forward 1. So empty jab plus 8, down forward 1 plus 5, 1 2 1. So on counter hit 1 2 1, the 3 hits are guaranteed. Every hit is guaranteed. So this string is really good. I think this string is broken, but it's really good. Be careful with spamming it too much because you'll get crushed. But this is fantastic if you're just moving around in the neutral. Throw it out, see what they do. Again, great for getting information. You're not a risk at this. Yes, -3 on block. I'll show you now. -3 on block, and you're +3 when you land it on hit, right? Your jab is +1. Down forward 1 is -2. Again, no risk. 2-1 into Peekaboo is +2 on block. 2-1 into Flicker is +3. Again, all my Steve brothers will know this if you're high level. This is basic shit. You're probably thinking, why the fuck is this guy going on about Steve's pokes in it? Now let me show you the fancy stuff. We're gonna set punish. I'm gonna set him to jab. This one is jab. Cool. How do I get information about my opponent? You can do this on block or you can do this on hit. It doesn't matter. For the time being, we'll do it on hit, right? So if I'm landing jabs on Jack, that's a counter hit. We'll just leave counter hit on, it doesn't matter. If I'm landing jabs on my opponent and he's mashing back, remember, empty jab is +8, bro. You are terribly plus. Back 2 is guaranteed because it's 17 frames. You can do the famous back 1. I can Sonic Fang. Down forward 1 again. Again, the jab is an information checker. You should not let shit like this go over your head. I would recommend checking with down forward 1 as well, because it's a mid. And it's much harder to evade, because a mid will hit if they're ducked or if they're stood up. But again, if I'm landing down forward 1 and I see the counter hit symbol, I'm just going to run the back 1 in a row match. Or I'm just probably going to step them, because again, the counter hit symbol tells me I'm beating them out before they press something, right? I'm faster than them if they're getting hit by this. This is information. And it's a boatload of information you just found out about your opponent. If your opponent is a serial ducker, again, some people, they like to duck when you're plus. So let's say I've landed something, he hard ducks after. Opponent after hit, we'll go crouching. Set this up like an idiot, cool. So if I land something, a lot of people will hard duck. You land a 1-2-1 or something, people online just hard duck, right? And then you try and do back 1. Oh my god, he's ducking me, what do I do? He's back 1-ing. No, he keeps ducking and launching me. What do I do? Run the mid. That's information. Run the down forward 1. Alright, this is landing now, right? Run the mid. Run the back 2 if you're feeling ballsy. This is how you use the small pokes to gain info. This is really basic shit, but nobody does this outside of the top players. Like, this is what allowed me to get GOD twice with Steve now in basically like 2 weeks. Just using the small buttons to open them up. Again, down 2-1, they get hit, they hard crouch. Run the launcher, that's a mid. Again, you do the big shit once you have information, then we can start fishing for the heat engages. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be random. If we set a status, sorry, after hit or block to jab again, we'll do it on block this time. Standing block. So if he blocks my down forward one and he jabs back now, it's not over. You're probably thinking, all right, what do I do? If he blocks a jab, if he blocks a 1-2-1 or whatever, I'll show you. 1-2-1. Oh. Oh my god, I'm ass. There we go. You can duck under, launch that shit. Snake charmer that nigga. Weave. Or you can just wait, whatever. Whoops, I didn't mean to go into peekaboo. Step that nigga. Back to him. You get the point, right? It's information. And it's damn near good information. That's one string. Let's try 2-1. What are your options after 2-1, you ask? I'll show you. Remember, 2-1 on block. If you hold flicker, you're +3. Run the flicker 1. Flicker 1 on counter hit guarantees albatross 2. This is a very strong flowchart for my lower rank Steve players, to anyone that's low rank. I mean, I don't want to say low rank in it. Like, you're not rubbish, but for people that are like below, like I say Tekken God or below, you can abuse this. Because on counter hit, flicker 1 guarantees albatross 2. Again, a lot of you will know this, but again, when you're thinking about gaining information, if your opponent keeps smashing after 2-1, you can literally hit him with this over and over until he adapts. And then if he starts ducking, like I said, you have this. You have this. You can check him with this. You can check him with this. You can check him with this. You have options. And again, that's because you're not mindlessly running your pokes. You're trying to find out information. That's why it's really important to start with the small shit. Steve has an advantage in Tekken 8 of being, yeah, he's definitely the safest character in the game. You can run his pokes basically zero risk and they tell you everything about your opponent. It is a very strong superpower that I need all of you lot to use, because that's how you can start doing the fancy stuff like this and it looks really flashy and you get the big launch and you take him to the wall and then you do the really big wall combo and then yeah, now you start doing your wall 50-50s and all that good stuff. But yeah, it all comes off a single jab, a down forward 1, a down forward 1-2-1, seeing what they do, a 2-1, seeing what they do, and it tells you everything about your opponent. Again, one very quick, very last, one final example on gaining information and what you can do, and this is off a punish or a situation where you put your opponent in crouching. A very common situation in Tekken. A lot of people don't really realize this is another mind game. You could use this to find out about your opponent. So, if you put your opponent in crouch, let me put opponent attack info, opponent frame, show details. Yeah, alright. Yep. So if you put your opponent in crouching with a low or with Steve Wildman, puts him into crouch, a lot of people don't even realize, but this in itself is a mini mind game because your opponent will do like one of two things. A lot of people will step after getting put into crouch, so they like to sidewalk and then like they know you're gonna continue offense and they fish for a launcher like a down forward 2. Or some people just mash a really fast while rising option. So Brian's knee. I think Brian's while rising 3 comes out at like I-12 or I-13. I think it's I-12, which is really quick. Lee's while rising 3 comes out at I-11 if I'm not mistaken. So again, we're gonna test this out. I set it to record and you can see in the bottom right corner. Oh, it's while rising 4, sorry, not while rising 3. We'll record it again. Got my buttons mixed up. But yeah, Lee plays uses the poke, and obviously if you put him in crouch, you can steal his turn back because he knows, alright cool, I've got a fucking I-11, I-12 while rising 4. This is fast, it's probably going to beat him out, right? But with Stephen Fox, and in general, if you know your frames and you're gaining information, you're gaining info, you can bypass this and you can use this to your advantage. Let's say you punish a move and you do Wildman, and he mashes while rising for the first time. You think, alright, I'm going to respect it. What I usually do if I put my opponent in crouch is I'll do a low and then I'll just walk, just to see what happens, or I block. So I'll do this and I literally just backdash, see what he does. Cool, he did while rising 4 once, right? Cool. Do a low again, while rising 4 again, alright, nice. Let's say he does a high and I punish him with Wildman. If you notice with Wildman, I'm +3. You already know where I'm going with this. Back 1 comes out 13 frames. You already know where I'm going with this. Free frame trap. That is a free back one. I will demonstrate. He is dead. Why did he die? We gained information. 82 damage with a wall. If you're scared of throwing back one, there's a little disclaimer. Some people have moves which high crush. I know you're already saying, oh, they're already in crush, they might do a low or something. Of course they will. If they do a move which high crushes, you can throw out down forward one because it's also 13 frames. It's just like throwing out back one and it's safer. So this is a mid check. This is a safer way to again gain information, stop them from mashing, and you can continue your offense after. So I will demonstrate. You land a low, +2 will even work. Down forward 1 comes out 13 frames. If you're +2, it comes out at 11. He is minus, you will beat him out. As you can see, he cannot play the game. Whoops. Again, it will work with Wildman, because you have the information, you know he's going to mash, it beats him out, you're +3. As you can see, it would be trading if we were on the same frame, but I'm just a bit faster. Yeah, there you go. So again, it's another common situation. If you put your opponent in crouch, you can see what they do. Some people will block, so you don't have to check with back one all the time. Some people will block, but again, use your lows of Steve. Steve's lows are kind of trash, so you are actually putting yourself at risk, contrary to popular belief, by using them. But again, if you punish a wild man or you put him in crouch, just chill for the first couple of reps, and then understand that like if he mashes once, he's probably going to autopilot and mash again, especially if he's got a nice while rising move. Like a lot of Dragunov players go straight into like, I think it's a full crouch, like down to 1-4 or whatever it is, or some of them go straight into down 2. Lee players mash while rising. Brian plays is a classic because they have while rising free. So while rising free is the knee, and if it hits you, it's a counter hit launcher. That's a big one. Brian players will almost always like mash the knee at a high level. And yeah, you can just use this against them. But again, you don't have to press anything or check. Again, the point of this video is showing how to use his down forward 1 to gain info, how to poke, why to poke, and how you can use it against your opponent. So yeah, this is another big situation. You can get so many free back ones if you know what you're doing. So many free back ones with this method. Like this is a literal frame trap. It's a classic Steve thing. But again, when I speak to a lot of players who play Steve, they don't know about this. Unless they're like super legacy, but yeah, you can use this in your games and you can see. So yeah, if you're getting beaten out a lot of the times, you're trying to do like homing after, like homing move for Steve, like is fucking 17 frames. And like this is obviously faster, right? Lee's while rising move. You see I'm getting kicked in the face, and he's getting his turn back. Bonk. You don't have to just default to autopilot and just do homing every time. You should be aware and you realize, oh wait, I'm +3 and he's beating me out. Let me just pick a fast option. You can even jab for God's sakes, if you know you're not going to get crushed. 1-2-1 to keep him in check. Continue your offense, you're +3. 1-2-1, I love 1-2-1, it's his best move. Next is QCF1, both of them are. Down forward 1, if you want to be safe, you're scared of getting crushed. And then if you got the cojones and you don't give a fuck about getting crushed, nigga, run the back 1 fam. Same with this, run the back 1. Run the down forward 1. Run the 1-2-1. Run the side step. If you're feeling ballsy, you can run the step, because if you know he's going to mash, this is also another defensive option. What a lot of Steve players do as well is they run over here after putting them into crouch because you're expecting a mash. Again, you can start doing the fancy shit that I spoke about, like the over here's, when you have information. It should not be your default. It's not too bad of an idea for it to be your default, but the reason why I say this is because I don't want anyone watching this to play off randomness. I want you to be aware of what they do, and it makes the game 10 times easier. You know he's going to mash over here, launcher. This is much more cleaner, you know what I mean? So yeah, I've made my point. And again, there's a million other options we can go through. What if he down forward 1 checks? What if he sidesteps? The answer's the same. There's a move for everything. Like there's a counter for all of it, right? You can literally go and practice, test it for yourself, and see if the frame's what you can do. But yeah, I wanted this to be a bit short and concise. I think this video is going to come out to about 10 minutes, so I'm sorry, but yeah, I'm getting a new mic and stuff now. I'll start pumping out some more Steve educational. I think the next one I'll do will be like a breakdown of QCF1 and why it's his best move. But yeah, just stay tuned for that. Thank you to everyone who's watched. I hope I was able to teach something in the mind of me. I'm not really a legacy Steve player. To Tekken 8 is the first time that I've like taken a Tekken seriously, and I've managed to get the top rank in a quite a fast time. So this is kind of how I approach the game and how I break it down, and these are the tools that help me get destruction twice with Steve now. So yeah, I hope I was able to teach you something. I hope you learned something. Please drop a like. Just let me know what you think about the video, man. If you found it helpful, if you think I'm bullshitting or whatever. I want to take all the feedback and so I can improve. So yeah, thank you so much to all of you who are watching. Have a good rest of your day. Please drop me a follow on Twitter and Twitter and Twitch at Sega, so Sega with two R's. Twitch Sega with two R's, and then an underscore at the end. And yeah, all right. Thank you guys so much. Have a good day.